Well, my name is Pauline and I'm 47 and I'm a mum of three, wife and busy person generally, and I live here in Limerick. The big side effects for me, negative side effects of heart failure, would be physically limited in what I can do. So, for example, before I was diagnosed with heart failure, I was a very active mom. Like, I was very involved. I was running around after my two boys at the time. And, you know, I liked that part of parenting, that I could kind of physically engage in fun with them, or in physical fun. But obviously after diagnosis, the physical ability is limited, and there are things I can't do with them, and particularly with my daughter, which I would have done with her brothers and I would have liked. So certainly, you know, some physical activities, because I wear an ICD and a pacemaker as well, then you're limited further. So, you know, if we go to theme parks or anything like that, I can't go on any of the rides. And sometimes that's a blessing, but generally, yeah, there's always that consciousness of mom, you know, mom can't, or, you know, even going on holidays, going through airport security and all that, it's a bit of a palaver because I have a pacemaker and ICD. So there's physical limitation, but also there's energy limitation. So with the best will in the world, I could want to do something, but my energy comes in waves. So, you know, as the crest of the wave is coming, I have a lot of energy. And then it kind of, after, you know, maybe an hour or two's activity, I just have to take a breather. And that was probably the hardest thing to get used to. So life is more challenging. And I suppose anytime, even when we go away or on holiday or anything, there's always having to factor in, where will I go for that sit down? Or also, because most heart failure patients also take a lot of medication, you're always needing bathrooms, and you have to kind of tailor your day somewhat around the condition, and it can be challenging, you know. I used to think at one stage it was like I had, you know, I was told actually at one point that I had the heart of an older person in a not as old, an old enough but not as old body. And sometimes it is trying to manage that dilemma, that on the outside I look like one thing, but on the inside my capability is different. I think all heart patients in general, or anybody who gets a diagnosis, there is a huge psychological journey from the shock of a diagnosis right through to how to manage life and how to grieve for what's lost, how to deal maybe with the anger of being diagnosed. The term in itself was terrifying. I found myself wondering whether it meant that I was actually about to die, because up to the point of diagnosis, that term would have suggested an imminent event to me. And I don't think it was really explained. It was only in the aftermath, as I started to kind of get brave and look things up, that I discovered it's just a term described about the heart when there is something that the heart isn't able to do as well as it might, whether it's how it takes in blood or how it pumps blood. In my case, it's how it pumps blood is the problem. And knowing that I could survive with that diagnosis offered a lot of hope. And that was very important to recovery and recovering Heart failure patients by nature, you don't make a full recovery, you just learn to live with it. And it's 8 years on, and I have learned in large part how to manage life around the condition now. But it's a long journey to go from the shock of diagnosis to the realities then of living with the condition. It can be very difficult. Well, obviously, like many others, there's an anxiety around getting COVID. In my case, my anxiety, I suppose, is, again, like in all cases, not just about if I get it, the implications for me, but the implications for my family. Because, in every respect, I'm a very typical woman of my age. I have 3 children who are still dependent on me, and my husband, and it is a worry if I got it, how it would impact them. For myself, I have been on a ventilator after open heart surgery. It is not pleasant, and it's not even the unpleasantness, it's how ill you are at that point to be on one, how weak you are, how desperately sick you are. The chances are, I suppose, the likely realities for me, if I, and touch wood, I won't get COVID, but were I to get COVID, I already have challenges pumping enough oxygen around my body.